Hey everybody, it's Amber and Amber K. Boyd, attorney at law, giving you your legal tea. You all, if it's Thursday at 1 o'clock, we're giving you the legal tea, which is just information that you can use regarding your employment law issues, just in general. You all, today I'm really going to focus on complaining to HR. I have a full video. It's a YouTube video that really details out how you should complain to HR, what you should say to HR, how you should follow up with HR as well. But on this video today, I just wanted to talk to you all about the importance of making the complaint to HR. I have talked to a lot of potential clients. I've also have talked to clients as well, just in general, about the fact that we have a tendency not to want to complain, and not just not wanting to complain, but not to tattletale on other individuals. And I really want us to dispel that myth of and get over that, because your satisfaction at your job, you complaining to someone or to HR regarding some discrimination or harassment, or someone creating a hostile work environment, matters. And there's things that you can do, and what you should do, in order for you to make sure that you're working in an environment that is conducive for you to thrive, right? I have talked to a potential client just very recently, and you all wouldn't believe the things that were happening at his workplace. I mean, the comments, the physical touching, everything that was happening at the workplace. And the potential client just would not complain, and because they came from a background where that just wasn't something people did. I literally said, I said, why? Why would you not complain? This is happening to you. It wasn't lying. I mean, there was physical evidence of what was going on. And it was really just like, that's just not how the person was raised. But you all, we have to get out of that, because when you are in an environment where literally you are uh, being told and hearing derogatory language, derogatory images, being physically touched, you have to complain. And and it's important to complain. It's not only because of the fact that that's not how you should be working and thriving and living, but it's important also to complain because when you do tell the manager or the supervisor or the coworker to stop, there can be ramifications to that, right? Like, you could then get terminated, but then they could terminate you for a separate reason. And if you haven't made those complaints to HR regarding what's been happening to you, there's this whole bit of evidence and information and really behavior that's not going to be taken in consideration if you do want to file a complaint of sexual harassment or racial harassment or harassment based on your disability. It's just not going to be taken into account. And so you really have to make sure you're making that complaint to HR, because when you make that complaint to HR, especially if it's regarding a coworker or some person who you believe is your supervisor but doesn't have the ability to terminate you, it then becomes on the employer to take corrective action regarding your employment or and regarding that behavior. So you want to put your employer on notice, because and you want them to be to a certain extent liable regarding what has taken place to you, and it's taking place in that workplace environment. And so if that's happening, if you complain on a boss and you got fired, or you or have been demoted or suspended, you need to contact an attorney, because if that happens, that's clear retaliation. And so you want to make sure that you contact an attorney, because you shouldn't have had to deal with that, and there's recourse for that. So I really, really want people to make those complaints, to discuss with HR what has happened. And then after you discuss it with HR, now granted, you don't have to put it in writing, but I always tell people, put in writing what you complained about, and don't sugarcoat the writing. If you complained about sexual harassment, complain Put in writing the complaint regarding sexual harassment. If you complain about racial harassment, put in writing that you was a complaint regarding racial harassment and keep those personal notes for yourself. When I say keep the personal notes for yourself, right? Typically, when we're making those complaints, we're at our desk, we're at our home, or at our computer using our work email. You want to make sure you have a copy of that complaint, whether it's a printed copy or forwarding in that complaint to your personal email address, because you want to be able to keep that information as well. So always make sure you can try to document those complaints, which is going to be super useful for you as well. So make sure you do that as well. Make sure you have some documentation. Granted, documentation and the lack of documentation doesn't kill you filing a complaint at all, but it does help your case. Then going from there is making sure you're following up with HR if you do believe you're experiencing retaliation. So you make a complaint, right? You follow it up with the documentation, and then if you feel like you're being retaliated against, right? Your manager is giving you more additional work. Your manager is taking responsibility away from you. Your manager is just treating you very differently than they're treating other individuals. That you want to make sure you're following up with HR regarding those changes as well. And you may want to say, look, Amber, I'm just tired of dealing with it, but you have to. You have to engage with HR and make sure they know what's going on. I say all this to say is this, your mental health is what's most important. You're going to see some attorneys who are always going to say, well, stay there until you get fired. And typically that's probably what, in regarding your case, that's something that probably should happen in order for you to recover everything you can recover. But if your mental health is on the line, that is your first and number one priority. So if you believe that you can't stay in that environment, you need to think about leaving that environment because you being healthy is what matters the most. You all, I hope this video was helpful. I know I'm a little nasally, but I hope it was helpful. And if it was, please like and please share it. And as always, enjoy your lunch break. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.